Hey guys, it's Mo from Mo in the Deep End, your, amalgamator of all news that the internet can produce. It is February the 17th. We all survived Snowmageddon, or at least part two of part three of Snowmageddon. I don't know. It looks like we're going to get more snow around here this coming upcoming week. So I hope you guys are all warm and at least staying cozy where you are. We got about 4 inches, so not the most super fun. It is super freaking cold and going to get colder. But we have some news, all the news. Good morning, Christine and 80s Music Man and Greedy Bloke. Hope you're having a great morning. Our first story is that unfortunately we have lost another actor. We have lost Kevin Major Howard, dead at 69. He was an actor in Full Metal Jacket. Good morning, Penny Ward and Jem. It always jumps as soon as I was going to go on that. And I love your face painting. Again, I do have something as soon as my new office is figured out. I think I have found a suitably thick gold eyeliner that we will, be able to mock Sarah Boone into, well, the next circle of mockery. Greedy Bloke, snow, so 4 to 6 inches is not like a little bit, but it's not terrible. Kevin Major Howard, an actor best known for his work in Stanley Kubrick's iconic Vietnam War drama Full Metal Jacket, has died. He was 69. Howard passed away on February 14th, and his cause of death is unknown at this time. Now, Kevin was a loving family man who left a legacy that extends beyond his film career. His efforts to advocate for remembering our fallen heroes and his ongoing support dedicated to our military, law enforcement, and those affected by the 9/11 attacks will live on through his foundation, Fueled by the Fallen. Howard's family sent in a statement provided to Fox News Digital. And this is what he looks like now. But now I've watched Full Metal Jacket one time. I respected it for the film that it was, but it's not one of my genres of enjoyment. The statement continued, his family wishes to continue his mission of remembering the 7 forgotten words, yes sir, no sir, please and thank you, for our aspiring youth. May we never forget and always remain in remembrance. He passed away peacefully, holding his wife's hand on International, Love Day. Howard's family concluded the statement with a phrase he has often said to family and friends: miss you, love you, bye. Now, in addition to his notable role in Full Metal Jacket, Howard appeared in shows like Magnum PI, MacGyver, and Cagney and Lacey. Well, who doesn't love a good Cagney and Lacey episode? He also appeared in Sudden Impact with Clint Eastwood. In Full Metal Jacket, his character, Rafterman, was a combat photographer accompanying Matthew Modine's character, Joker, to report on the war. In real life, Howard eventually retired from acting, with his last credit listed as a 1999 episode of Crusade, to become a successful headshot photographer. Modine paid tribute to Howard on X, formerly Twitter, writing, Kevin Major Howard gave and gave and gave so much to the world, especially the men and women of our armed forces. He became famous for his role of Rafterman in Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket. His portrayal gave him a unique entree into the world of the U.S. Marine Corps. He continued, this led him on a decades-long journey to be in service of our nation's bravest. Thank you for your dedication to others and to America. May all gods bless you, Kevin. Rest in peace. So I do hope that, he is, at peace now, not suffering anything like that. And it looks like he led a full and rich life, giving back to people, using, the gifts that he was given to give back to people, and to pass away with your loved ones surrounding you. It's something that we can all wish for and hope for. And it sounds like he was a really good guy. And, well, I mean, trying to buy step that since it is, a rest in peace, article. Well, on to the more mundane, mediocre. Well, look, it used to be good, and I guess we're celebrating its death. Chevy Chase attended the SNL 50 special after slamming the show and nearly coming to blows with Bill Murray. Well, two dicks getting into an argument over being assholes? I can't imagine. Saturday Night Live, you don't say. Chevy Chase has officially returned to Saturday Night Live. The actor 81 set foot on his old stomping grounds at Studio 8H for the comedy series' 50th anniversary special at Rockefeller Center on Sunday. He was also photographed walking the red carpet before the 3-hour special with his wife, Janie Chase. Now, Chase, who was one of the original cast members of Saturday Night Live from 1975 to 1976, has had a tumultuous relationship with the NBC variety show over the years. In fact, Saturday Night Live director John Reitman revealed that the comedian's response was to his 2024 drama detailing the 90 minutes leading up to the first ever broadcast of the late night sketch show. Chevy loves to say that you're not supposed to say to the extreme, he told David Spade and Dana Carvey on their Fly in the Wall podcast on December 2024. Spade appeared on SNL from 1990 to 1996, while Carvey starred from 1986 to 1993. He kicked off season 50 of the series by playing Joe Biden. I have an example for you. So Chevy comes in to watch the movie, and he's there with his wife Janie, and they watch the film. He's in a group, and he comes to me after. He pats me on the shoulder and goes, "Well, you should be embarrassed." What an exactly Chevy thing to do, Spade 60 replied. Couldn't even write it better. So everyone's a dick in Hollywood. Good to know. Reitman, meanwhile, took the criticism in stride. I'm just trying to balance it because in my head I'm like, all right, I'm getting a Chevy Chase moment. That's 1000% only for me right now, he shared. And from a comedy point of view, that's really pure. That's kind of cool. But also, I just spent like 2 years of my life recreating this moment and trying to capture Chevy perfectly, and even in the ego and find the humanity and give him a moment to be loved. And no, none of that shit played. He's not talking about that stuff. Chase is no stranger to making waves, including the times he came to blows with other SNL member Bill Murray while filming an episode in 1978. The Lost in Translation Star 74 reportedly made a rude comment about Chase's alleged tumultuous marriage at the time. Chase then bashed Murray's physical appearance, and the two got into an argument in Jim Belushi's dressing room. Now, if we had only had reality television, because I would pay to see a fight between Chevy Chase, Bill Murray in Jim Belushi's dressing room. I mean, that would have been gold. That would have been funnier than half the crap they came out with. Bill Murray and I came to fisticuffs. We never really ended up hitting each other, Chase told Esquire in 2010. We tried, but Belushi got in the middle of it, and we both ended up hitting John. Okay, when John Belushi is the voice of reason within the three of you, this is where your life has maybe taken a turn. This is like when you're trying to get marriage advice from, Fleetwood Mac. Maybe the couples, in love quadrangles aren't going to be your best advice columns. Let's see here. If anyone deserved to be slapped in the forehead, it was John for instigating all of this. On Sunday, Murray dropped Chase's name during Weekend Update in a sketch that also featured Colin Yost, Michael Chi, Cecily Strong, Bobby Moynihan, and Seth Meyers, along with Fred Armisen and Vanessa Bayer. Next up, Cornelius Crane Chase, who we've all come to know as Connie, Murray began, ranking the past Weekend Update co-host. Let's face it, Weekend Update could not exist without him, so it would be wrong to have listed him anywhere but number 4. I mean, again, SNL has kind of gone downhill. Again, Chris Farley, Adam Sandler, David Spade, you know, it's no longer funny. So there you go. And if more actors showing their ass just was what you needed to know, apparently Ryan Reynolds attempted to be funny. Now, again, I don't know that he actually is more funny than snarky or just says those mean things that you shouldn't say. Ryan Reynolds jokes about Justin Baldoni drama with Blake Lively in SNL 50 audience. Why? What have you heard? Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are ready and returning. The Hollywood couple stepped out on the SNL 50th anniversary red carpet special on Sunday. It marked their first red carpet appearance since beginning their legal war with Lively's It Ends With Us director and co-star Justin Baldoni. In an hour into the show, Reynolds alluded to the drama in a segment where Tina Fey and Amy Poehler took questions from the star-studded audience in Studio 8H. And it looks like Ryan Reynolds was going on, Poulter53 asked, and Reynolds quipped, "Why? What have you heard?" In December 2024, Lively, 37, sued Baldoni, 41, accusing him of SH and orchestrating a public smear campaign against her. I know you're shocked, but no one really gives two craps. Yeah, but there you go. He attempted to be funny and she attempted to be innocent while walking the red carpet. It was amazing. On to more important news. A shirtless Florida man is suspected of murder, swipes a patrol car, and then carjacks an SUV before being nabbed. It's like if Florida was just a crime. If Florida was a felony, it'd be this dude. And I love how it's made national news. A shirtless attempted slaying suspect in Florida took a police car and wound up pulling over an unsuspecting woman, then stealing her vehicle and crashing it before finally being able to get taken into custody, cops said. I mean, yeah, don't let the, felon take your car. This might be a time to reach for not the taser. The dangerous drama began when Armando Lopez, 52, allegedly tried to unalive his 30-year-old ex-girlfriend during an argument in Key Largo on December 22nd. Now, according to arrest affidavit, he threw her against a glass object, severely battered her, and told her that today would be the day that she died. He allegedly also stuffed her mouth with a cleaning rag drenched in Fabuloso, a chemical cleaner, and tried to give her a not voluntary neck hug. My dad is in my house hitting my mom to death, Lopez's stricken daughter told the 911 operator, according to a recording of the call obtained by local WPLG. While authorities were responding to the 911 call, Lopez attacked Monroe County Sheriff's Sergeant James Hager, who had already arrived on the scene. In the struggle, Lopez tried and failed to steal the deputy's force multiplier from his holster, authorities said. Hager also tried and failed to taser Lopez. Lopez then allegedly clambered into Hager's patrol car and sped off. "He's just stolen my patrol car. He's stolen my patrol car," Hager is heard saying in a body cam footage that had only surfaced last week. "He's running northbound. Lights are on. He tried to take my gun from my holster." Now, the patrol car's dash cam footage shows Lopez driving erratically on the highway, sometimes pushing 100 miles per hour. At one point, he starts flashing his lights and pulls over an unsuspecting 46-year-old woman in an SUV who was under the impression that she was being hailed down by a real police officer. Lopez yanked on the woman's door and repeatedly told her to get out of the vehicle. She eventually obliged, clearly confused and stunned, as Lopez ditched his stolen cruiser and took off in her SUV. Not long after, he crashed that SUV, causing it to roll over on the highway. He was stuck pinned beneath the vehicle when an officer rolled up and finally was able to take him into custody. Now Lopez remains in the MCSO jail, where he's being held without bond on a slew of different charges, including those he racked up during his run from authorities, such as impersonating an officer and eluding law enforcement. But honestly, you think you see a guy who's shirtless pop out of a Florida patrol car, are you thinking, it's Florida, he could be shirtless? I mean, so there you go. Florida man for the win. How many times can you say you stole a police deputy's car? Now, this fish, I believe, is the devil. I don't know. Now, where are they going to show the demon fish and not... Oh, for the love of all that is Cheetos. Y'all better show the picture of the fish. All right. This is what I can only assume is nightmare fuel. But we are all very excited because apparently we were able to see a picture of it. But this is what they were able to catch a picture of actually in the wild, which is why we're going to go back to that particular article. A video shows black sea devil fish making a rare swim near sea surface. In what may be the world's first ever recording of a black sea devil anglerfish, known for living thousands of feet beneath the ocean's surface where no light touches, was caught on camera swimming close to the ocean's surface. The footage, captured in Spain's Canaries Islands, showed the female fish, whose Latin name translates to black sea monster, swimming through the light-filled ocean waters off the coast of Tenerife. The discovery was made by the NGO Condrick Tenerife and marine life photographer David Yara Bonyenga while they were researching sharks. In a joint Instagram post, let's see if that will show it. Oh, here we go. So again, this is nightmare fuel. It would be the chick one because I think the guy anglerfish are only about this long. But yeah, this is nightmare fuel. I'm just saying, I'm glad you found it. Great to see it. Stay where the dark is because this is nightmare fuel, and I don't think we need to save it. Like, if I were Noah, I'm telling you, God told me to bring every fish. I'm like, I think that one would be just fine. Like, I'm not gonna, like, the other fish have spoken. We're pretty sure it's nightmare fuel and a demon, so we're just gonna leave it outside, okay? Once they got closer, they realized it was a humpback anglerfish, a type of black sea devil anglerfish similar to what was portrayed in Disney's animated movie Finding Nemo. The genus of its Latin name for the species, Melanochitus johnsoni, translates into black sea monster. Interesting. Possibly did not actually pronounce that right in official Latinish, so there you go. But there you go. Again, looks like an absolute, nightmare. But the female humpback anglerfish are the more powerful of the sexes in this species, growing far larger than their male counterparts. They can grow to be 7 inches and take on the more iconic look with a large head with pointed teeth and a bioluminescent lure, while the males grow only to be about an inch long and lack the lure, according to Australian Museum. Researchers aren't sure why this female found her way into such a light-filled, area of the ocean, but they said it could be due to illness and updraft or perhaps fleeing from a predator. But what they do know from the observation was that it was surprising. So there you go. Learn something sciencey. And learn how to drive. USS Harry S. Truman ship collision damage revealed in new photos. So if you guys were paying attention to the news and realized that one of the, US's air carrier or aircraft carriers had been hit by a merchant ship, looks like they got a pretty good ding. And new images are revealing the extent of the damage on the USS Harry S. Truman that happened when it collided with a merchant vessel near Egypt in the Mediterranean Sea. The photographs released Saturday by the Navy's Sixth Fleet show a tear on the starboard side of the aircraft carrier near its stern. A pipe running along the side of the ship appears to be severely damaged as well. The Nimitz-class aircraft carrier USS Harry S. Truman CVN 75 was involved with a collision with a merchant vessel, Beskitas M, at approximately 11:46 p.m. local time, February 12th, while operating in the vicinity of Port Said, Egypt, in the Mediterranean Sea, the Navy's Sixth Fleet Public Affairs said in a statement earlier this week. The collision did not endanger the Harry S. Truman, as there were no reports of flooding or injuries. The propulsion plants are unaffected and in a safe and stable condition. The Navy said that the incident is now under investigation. The ship provides a wide range of flexible mission capabilities to include maritime security operations, expeditionary power projection, forward naval presence, crisis response, sea control, deterrence, counterterrorism, information operations, and security cooperation, according to the Navy. Now, the ship embarked air wing is capable of projecting tactile air power over the sea and on land, as well as providing sea-based air, surface, and subsurface defense capabilities. So hopefully they can get this fixed, and I'm glad that no one was hurt. Although you would think, these are not small ships. Far be it from me as not a boatologist, but I don't think these are the size of ships that are just going to sneak right up on you, like the Titanic and an iceberg. But far be it from me, I am not a boatologist. And speaking of reasons not to enter the sea, number 733 after they've already put out bikinis, and I have in no way found my beach body yet. I think it's hiding behind the couch. Humpback whale swallows and spits out a kayaker in an incident captured on camera. Again, you guys, the ocean is apparently just a nightmare. A humpback whale briefly swallowed a 24-year-old kayaker last Saturday during a father-son excursion out to the icy waters around Chile's southernmost Patagonia region. The terrifying moment, captured on camera by the kayaker's father, showed the whale surfacing in the Strait of Magellan and gulping Adrian Seminkis for a few moments before releasing him. In the video, verified by CNN, Adrian's father, Del, is heard yelling to his son, who had been spat out of the whale, to grab the boat. Adrian then swims towards his dad's raft to hold on as they pull away. "I thought it swallowed me," Adrian said in the video. Now, speaking to CNN in Espanol, Adrian explained what it was like to briefly be engulfed by the humpback whale. When I turned around, I felt my face on like a slimy texture. I saw colors like dark blue, white, and something approaching from behind that closed and sank me, he said. At that moment, I thought there's nothing I can do and that I was probably going to die. I didn't know what it was. Despite the uncertainty, he felt his vest pull me up, and then 2 seconds later, I was back on the surface and started understanding what had happened. Del told CNN in Espanol he began recording when he noticed pretty waves that seemed exciting. He then heard what sounds like a strong wave hitting behind me, and when I turned around, I don't see Adrian or his pack raft. So I got worried, and around 3 seconds later, I see he's shot up to the surface and his pack raft after him. When asked if both father and son would go back to kayaking, they said in a chorus, "Of course." No. When they asked me, I would said, no, I'm staying on the ground from now on for forever. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Trying to lie, say you had a video, then I try to click on it and you lied. Wildlife scientist Vanessa Pirota said that humpback whales were unlikely, or was likely, lunge feeding for krill or fish at the time, and the kayaker was in the way. The gentleman happened to be very close to the whale that was just going about feeding behavior. The man was not swallowed, she said. These animals are not targeting human-sized prey. They don't have the equipment to do what they need to do in order to devour a human, she said, pointing out their narrow esophagus and the lack of teeth. I'm thinking if a whale swallows you and drowns you, you're still dead. I mean, I hate to be pedantic here. I don't think we're, accusing the whale of needing some human meat. I think we're accusing the whale of trying to eat him accidentally. Let's see. The Strait of Magellan is a popular tourist destination due to its outdoor activities and flora and fauna. Kayaking with dolphins and humpback whales is one of the activities advertised on the government's tourism website. Humpback whales live throughout the world's major oceans, according to the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA. The NOAA says that humpback whales are popular among whale watchers as they are very active on the surface, often jumping out and slapping the water with their pectoral fins or tails. So there you go. Maybe just don't, kayak if you've also blasphemed against the Lord. Now, I don't know. I know the old joke was like, I could go become a mortician because, the business will never die out. But this seems a little close to home, a little too close to that. I own this body. Funeral home owner found guilty of deadly shooting of pallbearer during funeral for a 10-year-old gunshot victim. Now, what in the name of Hades in a handbasket is going on in here? Do what? I can make heads nor tail of it. A funeral home owner was convicted of shooting a pallbearer at the burial of a 10-year-old girl who was killed, unfortunately, by a stray bullet in Washington, D.C. Okay. Wilson Wesley Chavez, 50 years old, the owner of Compassion and Serenity Funeral Home, Compassion, Serenity, and Bust-a-Cap in Your Ass Funeral Home, was found guilty on Thursday in the killing of Ronald Stephen Banks, a 30-year-old pallbearer and family friend of Adriana Miracle Davies, during the girl's burial service on June 6, 2023. Good night, nurse. Sorry. English is my only language, and sometimes I mangle it spectacularly. The bloodshed happened while the burial service for Ariana was about to get underway. The defendant confronted two people affiliated with a second funeral service, which with Davis had, Chavez, had a long-standing business dispute. So several of the funeral attendees became upset with Chavez and confronted him over his behavior. Chavez then pulled a force multiplier and fired two shots, striking Banks and grazing a cousin of Ariana. I was so traumatized that this happened at my daughter's burial site. I didn't even get to lay her down, didn't even get to put her in the ground, and another incident happened. It is so traumatizing for me, to my children, to my whole family. It's trauma after trauma, stated Ariana's mother, Antonietta Belk, describing this to a local NBC affiliate, WRC. The devastated mother of four, a teacher, reportedly said that the defendant yelled, "I own this body," and spat on the pastor at the scene. After the shooting, Chavez tried to flee in his vehicle, but didn't get far because an officer with the Morningside Police Department spotted him and pulled him over. Prince George's County Police said. Now, Chavez later claimed he acted in self-defense. Banks died at the hospital. He had been carrying the casket for Ariana. She was tragically shot by a stray bullet returning home from a Mother's Day event while in the back seat of her family's car in Washington, D.C., according to the FBI. Now, 3 men do face charges in Ariana's murder. Local Fox affiliate WTTG reported that Chavez had a temporary peace order filed against him by the then president of a rival funeral home after he had allegedly made threats. Chavez faces up to 65 years in prison, which he is set to be sentenced to possibly on July 11th. So what in the actual Hades in a handbasket is going on? I don't get it. I don't understand people. And Kendrick Lamar, what is going on, and why are New Yorkers willing to pay nearly $1,200 for male flare leg pants? I don't know, but apparently a fool and their money will be quickly separated. New Yorkers are rushing to buy Kendrick Lamar's $1,200 Super Bowl flare leg jeans, or just try them on in Celine stores. So there you go. If you'd like to look like Kendrick Lamar or any teen girl from the 90s, get your flare leg jeans, guys and gals. They're back. Faddish fashionistas all have one goal: score a pair of the $1,200 flare-legged Celine jeans. Bougie style buffs of the Big Apple are hightailing it to Celine in Soho, a security-guarded shop, hoping to get their hands on the virally popular pants. Some serious spenders are digging into their wallets to buy, while wannabes just want to get into the dressing rooms to give the jeans a try. However, sources close to the store tell the Post that they have been completely sold out of the flared jeans since rapper Kendrick Lamar, 37, made them must-have wear pants, having them on his halftime show. Flare leg jeans, they're for boys now too. And now Kendrick is being credited for inspiring a third coming of the groovy cut. Y2K style is back. David Thielblue, men's fashion director for Bloomingdale's, told the Post. Kendrick's flared denim and varsity jacket nailed the vibe. These vintage-inspired silhouettes bring nostalgia back in a cool, modern way, and we've seen a definite surge in interest since the halftime performance. Well, there you go again. Welcome, Shizzy Raiders. If you would like your male flare leg jeans, I have just the spot. Now, flared jeans are also performing high among high rollers too. VIPs such as Meghan Markle, Bella Hadid, Sydney Sweeney, and Pharrell Williams have recently been spotted sporting the haute hip huggers. Those who dare to flare are leaning into the retro style, which first rose to popularity in the 1960s and 70s and enjoyed a resurrection during the early aughts. Now, Celine Soho Insider echoed the sentiment, saying it's very exciting, referring to the swarm of fashion fans who popped in to test wear the flare leg pants over the past week. Again, it's called Goodwill and/or your grandpa's closet. We're going to be popping some tags, y'all, and we'll have flare leg pants too for $3.99. I don't understand spending $1,000 on any pair of pants that don't I don't know, give you abs, make you fly, or we'll do the dishes. I mean, again, why does this feel like I could just go back to what I was wearing in high school? Uh, let's see here. Yeah, you guys, again, just ask your moms. We had a bunch of these pants. Have fun with that. You'll be great. I don't understand men in flare leg pants. You guys, okay, gentlemen, you're going to have to explain this to me because all I think is you try to put on your girlfriend's pants. And I mean that kindly, but that looks like you put your sister's pants on accident or on purpose accident. I mean, his are loose enough that they don't look like you stole your sister's pants. Sir, you need to upsize because no. I think we can all agree that this is a terrible idea, and let's put the 90s back where they belong, in a box, so it won't affect the rest of us. And, well, let's just hope that I have not heard of this case, so this will be something else that we might cover if this does turn out to be something that, is televised. Again, this happened in, or is happening in Western Australia. So this looks like a heartbreaking case. A ballerina's parents are jailed for neglecting their daughter that they bathed in attention, but apparently or allegedly starved of food. By the time the girl was admitted to hospital, her hair was brittle, her skin was flaking, and she was so malnourished that doctors said she was at risk for cardiac arrest and death. She was 17 but looked much younger. Witnesses at the hospital said her parents treated her as if she were a small child. They took her to the restroom, wiped her, blew her nose, brushed her hair as she watched cartoons more suitable for toddlers. She weighed just 60 pounds or 27.3 kilograms, about the same size as a 9-year-old. Now, last month, her parents, an Australian couple in their mid-40s, were sentenced to prison in Perth District Court of Western Australia for neglecting their only child, even as they ferried her to and from piano and ballet lessons. Yes, Lord Chippy. Well, I want to read the whole story because I do not know what was going on. So I'm trying to not judge because I am a judgy judgerton. So since this was in Australia and I don't know anything about the case, I'm trying not to judge yet. Lord Chippy may still come out at the end of the article, though. Now, neither the parents nor their daughter can be identified according to an Australian law that seeks to protect child victims. The girl, now 20 years old, declined CNN's request for an interview. Her father's lawyer, Oliver Paxman, told CNN his client was very disappointed about the outcome and was considering his legal options. Her mother's lawyer did not respond. In her ruling, Judge Linda Black said it was clear that the girl's parents loved her but failed in their parental duties to help her develop physically and emotionally. This is not a case about a malnourished ballerina, Judge Linda Black said as she sentenced the father to 6.5 years in prison and the mother to 5 years, a reduced sentence to take into account her personal circumstances. You isolated your daughter. You prevented her from growing up. You prevented her from developing in a way she was entitled to. You did this to keep her as a little girl long beyond the age she should have been, Black said. For the purposes of this story, we'll call the girl Kate. The following details have been sourced from court documents, and my son is fine. He just likes to make monster noises. So if you heard that in the background, he's fine. That's him pretending to be Godzilla or another monster. Kate loved to dance. She was homeschooled by her mother, who quit work when she was born to take care of her. Most of the time that was spent at home, but ballet lessons offered Kate a chance to mix with children her own age. Photos released by the court show Kate smiling in brightly colored costumes with her hair slicked back and her feet and arms in the studied poise of a graceful ballerina. What a beautiful photo of my ballerina princess, her father commented on one photo to Facebook of his daughter who looked far younger than her 14 years. Kate's father worked full-time to provide for the family who lived in one of the wealthiest suburbs of Perth, the capital of Western Australia. They were intelligent people who obviously knew how to feed themselves, the judge said, and yet they failed to ensure that their daughter ate enough food. The couple also failed to let Kate grow up as a normal teenager. Nothing even remotely age-appropriate was present in the family's home, the judge said, pointing to films and TV shows she watched, Teletubbies, Frozen, and Thomas the Tank Engine. Okay, I think I've heard enough. Lord Chippy, attendants, I think we have heard enough, because these people seem all the creepy. And I feel bad because this feels like psychological damage for something deep-seated. Maybe they wanted other children, and they could only have one daughter and they were worried about her growing up and finding her own life. I don't know, but this seems really bordering on, gypsy gypsy Blanchard kind of stuff. Unlike most teenagers who were getting their first jobs and scrolling on social media, Kate was having princess birthday parties and receiving Barbie dolls as gifts. And when other girls were going through puberty, Kate ceased to grow or develop. Now, during the trial, her father told the court that she was a fussy eater who had become a vegetarian at age 8 and turned vegan in her early teens. She ate 3 meals a day and had access to snacks. He said he didn't believe she was malnourished. Vegans avoid eating foods that come from animals, including dairy products and eggs. Their diet is largely made up of fruit, vegetables, grains, nuts, and seeds. Now, Paxman, the father's lawyer, told CNN, "This was never a case about withholding food from a child. My client didn't starve his kid. He never withheld food from her. He loved and spoiled his daughter. She was free to eat as much as she wanted. This case was about inadequate nutrition from a vegan diet." And I do know once you get to the higher levels of ballet, I mean, you're considered an elite athlete and you need to have fuel to, nourish your body because you're doing such incredibly strenuous things with it. To be able to dance like it's effortless requires a lot of work. So I don't know, you'd have to work with, this is not healthy. How can you see that and not be like, oh my God, okay, my daughter's obviously struggling with something. Maybe we need to get a nutritionist. Maybe I don't make good vegan food, which I don't know what I would make because it's not my jam, but this doesn't, blaming this on being a vegan doesn't seem right. And doesn't go with, the sort of stop the arrested development at age 4 that we seem to have emotionally. Now, Judge Black refused to believe that the couple didn't realize their daughter was seriously unwell. It seems that everyone in the world who's had an opportunity to interact with Kate understood that she was severely malnourished, except for the 2 people who professed to love her. I simply cannot accept you didn't see it. I simply cannot accept that you didn't notice, Judge Black said. In fact, Black found that they did notice. They noticed it so much that her father forged her birth certificate to make her seem 2 years younger, partially to hide what was becoming increasingly apparent to other people, that their daughter was chronically malnourished. Okay, so there was a picture. Yeah, that's no. Now, parents at the ballet school were starting to whisper, and her dance teachers implored the parents to see a nutritionist. They refused, and eventually the teachers notified the authorities. By the time Kate was hospitalized at 17, She was 147.5 centimeters or 4 feet 10 inches tall, with a body mass index of 12.5, significantly below the healthy range of 18 to 25. She was wasted, according to the doctor, with limited body fat. She was pale. She was exhibiting no signs of puberty. Her hair was brittle and thin. Her skin was dry and flaking. Her heart rate was elevated. The doctor said they needed to do an EKG, and the two of you said no, Judge Black wrote in a ruling. As the doctors tried to treat her, Kate's parents openly discussed their suspicions that a conspiracy was forming around them and medical staff couldn't be trusted. Their daughter was in an eating disordered ward, yet they praised the figure of another patient who was dangerously thin. Okay, these people are monsters. These people are monsters who obviously wanted a thin doll. No, are you insane? They told their daughter who her stomach was looking full and made comments that suggested she might get fat if she followed her doctor's advice. This, in the context of the dire condition your daughter was in, was outrageous, Black wrote. When the couple refused to have the doctor insert a nasal tube to allow Kate to be fed and frustrated other attempts to treat her, authorities stepped in and put her in the custody of the state. Now, without her parents' intervention, Kate gained weight and they were arrested and charged. Dr. Danielle Einstein, a clinical psychologist and author, says cases like Kate's are extremely rare. She said it's very common for parents to struggle with the idea that their children will someday leave, but ultimately most want them to grow into responsible adults. Einstein said one of the problems she encountered through her work is when parents try to shield their children from problems or do too much for them. Sheltering is a problem. We don't want to shelter our children. We want them to continue to grow and develop and be capable without us. We're seeing more anxiety in young adults and teens because they are not prepared to face challenges and overcome challenges without help. Kate's parents didn't just prevent her from growing up, the court found. They did a total cascading series of lies from 2016 about their daughter's age to cover up their neglect. The first came as her mother signed Kate up for dance class, giving a date of birth that made her daughter seem 6 months younger than what she really was. Now, months later, she gave a different birth date again to the same school, taking off another year, so she appeared 18 months younger. Then, in yet another application, she knocked a full 2 years off of her daughter's age. You deliberately lied because you knew your daughter didn't look like or behave like a child of her true age. Now, in her sentencing remarks, Black said it was clear that Kate's parents loved her but didn't show it with their actions. There is nothing unusual in a parent wanting to cling to their child and be reluctant to let them go and mature to become an adult. Nothing unusual at all, she said. But what is wrong is when a parent, in fact, prevents a child from embarking upon and completing that natural process. One of your greatest failures was a belief that you could give her what she wanted and failed to give her what she needed, she continued. Every parent knows it's harder to say no to your child than yes. You choose to make the easy choices rather than the hard ones. Kate's own words provided more evidence to Judge Black that her parents had failed to give her the skills to function without them. In a letter sent to the judge appealing to drop the prosecution, Kate blamed herself for her parents' predicaments, saying they made her breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but she chose how much she ate. I am fully dependent on my parents, she wrote. All my living expenses are paid by my parents, including clothing, money, and food, as I need it. My university fees are both paid by my parents. I love my parents very much. They are the most important people in my life. If my parents go to prison, I don't think I'll be able to cope. Now, Kate's father admitted to forging her birth certificate, but both parents denied all the other charges. While their lawyers pointed out an anxiety disorder that could possibly, explain their behavior. Judge Black said the couple had taken no responsibility for their actions, and she saw no reason not to jail them. You have shown no remorse, you have shown no acceptance of responsibility, and you have shown no insight, she said. Now both will be eligible for parole. I will try to look into this. It does look like this child was failed, and hopefully she is getting good help and life, lessons, and people are trying to show her how to live in this world because her parents honestly didn't. Hopefully, she is getting help to do that because honestly, I don't know what she's going to do now that her parents are gone if she's been given no skills. And I hope that they are watching her very closely because if she has disordered eating, areas of high stress will can tend to trigger a relapse just like anyone who has a substance issue, and it could be, you know, vaping or, other things. But when the anxiety really cranks up, I hope that the clinicians are watching her to make sure she doesn't start, being very policing of her food. Again, when everything else is in chaos, you can control your food, and that is something that can be a really big power struggle when things are going crazy in your life and you don't have that one thing you used to cope with it. So I hope they're keeping a good eye on her. Well, I don't know if this is the way that you find love, but another Florida, life lesson for you. A Florida woman accused of attacking a man with a garden tool after he canceled plans with her. Yeah, I mean, possibly don't attack a man with a spade if he says no to your date idea. Although at this point, with the looks of this woman, you should be glad that it wasn't an over under long force multiplier you got. Be glad it was just a spade. A Florida woman is behind bars after allegedly attacking a man with a garden hoe. Never mind, it was a garden hoe. I mean, it's Florida. The Polk County Sheriff's Office said that Melanie Davis, 47, had plans to hang out with a man last week when he canceled on her, according to Fox 13 Tampa Bay. Now upset by his decision, Davis allegedly went to his home in Frostproof, Florida. Frostproof, Florida, not Frostproof. Frostproof. The more you know. Florida at around 3 a.m. on Tuesday and began yelling at him from outside. The altercation escalated when Davis climbed a fence to his property and pushed through a door to begin punching him, investigators said. Now, at some point, she grabbed a gardening tool and hit him with it, which caused a serious cut on his arm. Yeah, never get Grandma mad when she's got a weed weasel in her hand. The man was taken to the hospital while Davis was taken to jail. She was charged with armed burglary with battery, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, and simple battery and criminal mischief. Now, Davis has had a long history with the Polk County Sheriff's Office dating back to 1997 when she was arrested at 19 years old with battery. I mean, she was attractive in 97. Jail records show that she has been arrested in Polk County 27 times prior to last week's incident. Her previous charges range from petty theft to battery causing serious injury. The last time that she was booked in Polk County Jail was in March 2024 when she was charged with DV on a person over the age of 65. I mean, yeah, try to make good choices, then you won't have a mugshot, timeline of yourself in Polk County. Well, she's still around. Who knew? I mean, I thought that she had gone away, but apparently, breakdancer, B-girl Ray Gunn is apparently still out here trying to make herself relevant. Controversial Paris Olympics breakdancer Ray Gunn falls on her face at a nightclub. I'd have given her the gold. Oh dear Lord, how is this person not just embarrassed and living in her basement? The Australian breakdancer, whose moves at the Paris Olympic mimicked both a kangaroo and a, well, sprinkler, found herself in another embarrassing snafu at a Sydney nightclub. Ray Gunn, the divisive breakdancing sensation, tried to grab a microphone out of the hands of a drag queen Thursday, but not before she fell on the stage in an apparent attempt to recreate her viral performance of the Summer Games. Oh hell, she even fell down on the dance floor. This is terrible. In a video shared on Instagram, yes, we do want to see this. Oh my. Okay, to be fair, I do that a lot when I'm trying to walk around. Oh, oh, the drag queens are trying to take you off this. I will state with full, you know, honesty that I have never been, dragged off a stage while trying to dance. Nor have I ever tried to steal a drag queen's microphone. In a video that we just watched, the crowd at a long-running gay bar, Universal, can be heard chanting Ray Gunn's name before she loses balance, busting out one of her breakdancing moves. The 37-year-old dancer, whose real name is Rachel Gunn, then gets up and tries to grab the mic out of Sydney drag queen Champagne's hand. Well, I mean, yeah, no one takes the mic out of Champagne's, hands. She's got big old hands, and she's not going to let you have the microphone. The breakdancer blamed being tipsy for her topsy-turvy act. Haha, deafs had a bit too much. Imagine my anxiety today. She commented on Instagram on the post by Gay Sydney News. Some social media users had tongue-in-cheek reactions to the infamous dancer. It's like seeing Jesus walk on water, wrote one Instagram user. Others were more supportive. She's a great sport. I'd have given her gold last night, wrote Instagram user Kira Billy in a reference to her dismal Olympics routine in which she failed to score a single point. Yeah, I'm hoping that I would claim drunkenness. Ray Gunn did announce that she was retiring after the really upsetting backlash she faced following her Paris performance, only to turn back around and say that she's just never going to stop dancing. I'm still going to be a part of community jams. I'll go to community jams and still dance and still break, she said back in November. It appears that's what she did, or at least attempted to do, this weekend, in a polo shirt over a skirt, as one does. No idea, you guys. Who remembers this chick? You guys know if it was about early 90s or late 90s, early aught cringe larity and train wreck television reality TV. Who remembers Darva Conger? I know, not me, until I saw this this headline. Who wants to marry a multimillionaire? Winner breaks silence about irresponsible reality show scandal 25 years later. I remember when everyone was like, she's just a gold digger. She just wants to marry him for his money. And I was like, well, they're all on a reality show. It seems like they're all terrible people. Darva Conger's life looks decidedly different than it did 25 years ago when she was on the cover of magazines and newspapers worldwide after winning the reality show Who Wants to Marry a Multimillionaire. The 2 hour special, which earned 23 million viewers, ended up in scandal when it was revealed that the groom, real estate developer Rick Rockwell, had a restraining order out against him. Conger, now a mom of one and anesthesiologist, recalls those days in detail. I was working at a new hospital in Southern California and had recently broken up with my boyfriend. Conger, a military veteran who was working as an ER nurse, tells People. A doctor mentioned a producer friend that was casting for a reality show, and the nurses were all talking about it. You should do it, one of them told Conger, then 33, and I looked at her and said, I'm not doing that. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Now, if she had just listened to herself, we wouldn't be here. Conger, now 59, says, but after some cajoling, she agreed to give her number to the producer and was chosen to be a contestant. I was just interested in a free week in Vegas, she said in a laugh. I didn't think it was going to be real. I thought it would be a setup. People would laugh, about it for a few minutes and then nothing would come of it. What happened next would throw Conger's life into a tailspin. 50 contestants vied for Rockwell's $35,000 engagement ring. He chose Conger, marrying her on the spot in front of 1,000 audience members for the taped special that would air on Fox February 15th, 2000. Rick was just odd from the beginning, she says, and I assumed it was because we'd been thrown together in this strange circumstance, and I figured, okay, I can fix this later. We'll just go through with it. But then they whisked us away to a hotel and put us in a hotel room together. And the man that, came out of the bathroom wearing nothing but a towel. And all I can say is, thank goodness it was me, a 33-year-old military veteran, and not some younger, more impressionable girl, she adds. It was so irresponsible of them. Now, Conger said she wanted an immediate annulment. I made it very clear to producers, I'm not into this. I thought this was going to be a silly game show. My bad. Conger did agree to go on a cruise with Rockwell for their honeymoon, as long as they were sent a chaperone and put in different rooms. She says that they didn't really interact at all on board the boat. I tried to be nice, but it was uncomfortable, she said. So there we were on this ship, and then the show aired, and in the morning I saw the cover of the New York Times. 33 million people watched the show, and that's when I thought, oh, this could get crazy. She didn't realize just how crazy it was going to get. We taped an interview after the cruise saying we were just friends, no romance was there, but it was a great experience. Then 2 days later, the stuff about him having a restraining order came out, and when I got home to my townhouse, there were media trucks and paparazzi as far as I could see. I was shocked. In a February 2000 interview with Dateline, Rockwell dismissed the restraining order as a result of two very passionate individuals that acted in a bit of an immature tit-for-tat way. Now, everyone wanted to talk about Conger and about her experience. The media hounded her day and night. They followed me everywhere, and I thought if I don't talk, maybe they'll go away, but they didn't. She did eventually agree to sit down with Diane Sawyer and share her story on Good Morning America, recalling the two of them chatting and Sawyer saying, "Oh, you're not a gold digger at all." I wasn't. I owned my own home. I was a veteran. I had a good job, she said. But after that, I couldn't go back to work because the media were all over the hospital. Unsure of what to do next, she received an offer from Playboy, as you do. Now she would have just started her own OnlyFans. Where was Dancing with the Stars when you need them? I always loved Playboy. I thought it was cool, she said. I'm not a fan of weird prawn that objectifies women, but I have zero issues with the human body, and I was actually really flattered they wanted me. And honestly, it saved me financially. I got offered a few other things, like celebrity boxing, which was fun and easy and paid well. It let me put some money aside and pay for my real wedding and honeymoon, but I knew I wasn't going to be able to do this forever. Conger eventually moved out to Northern California, got married, and had a son, putting herself through a competitive anesthesiology program. Now I'm just working, raising my son, doing woodworking on the side, and living really a comfy, laid-back life, she says, of things that and how different things are now. But it was crazy back then, having to defend myself against all the names I was called. A whore, a gold digger. Does she regret going on the show? There's not even a point to wondering about that, she says. I did it. I had some dark times, but I also had some really fun times. I got to go to the Playboy Mansion with my friends. It was so fun. I wouldn't have had my son, who's the light of my life. I wouldn't have had some of the experience I had. So there you go. Again, I never really wondered what happened to this chick. I figured she was probably doing just real life. Okay, you guys, I shouldn't have any ads on. You guys should not be getting ads on live streams because I don't have them on. This is so weird. Yeah, it should not have them going on, so I don't know. I have no idea. Well, it's always the fingerprints that'll get you. Oh, okay. I was like, no, for seriousness. I turned off ads. Oh, that's good. Okay. So for our final story of the day, the fingerprint on the goldfish package lands an accused robber behind bars. It couldn't have possibly been all the face tattoos and the possible lazy eye. Using a fingerprint lifted off of a goldfish package, cops identified and arrested a man for hitting a female Family Dollar manager in the face with the crackers when she confronted him about stealing from the retailer. Now, cops allege that Michael Gonzalez, known as Gizmo, struck the 65-year-old victim after walking out of the Florida business with approximately $50 worth of cleaning supplies and a box of goldfish crackers. Now, the victim, cops say, approached Gonzalez as he handled the stolen goods to a passenger in the vehicle parked just in front of the Gulfport store. Upon being challenged by the woman, Gonzalez, 29, allegedly hit her in the face with the goldfish crackers, causing a small cut to her lip. As seen on the right, Gonzalez was arrested yesterday for the strong-armed robbery and felony in connection with the September 2024 goldfish incident. He was in custody Thursday for a prior alleged robbery during which he stole a skateboard from a man who he punched, bit, and stabbed in both the face and head. Now shown surveillance images from Family Dollar, Gonzalez, who has several distinctive tattoos, including the one between his eyes, reportedly admitted to cops that he was the individual, in the photos. Throughout the interview, police noted that Gonzalez stated that this was petty and that he should just get time served. Now, a judge apparently disagreed with that analysis, setting Gonzalez's bond at $30,000 for the two pending felony robbery cases. Locked up in county jails, Gonzalez is familiar with such accommodations. His rap sheet includes convictions for theft, trespass, robbery, cocaine possession, disorderly conduct, and attempted armed robbery. In addition to various jail sentences, Gonzalez has served nearly 2 years in state prison. I mean, he seems like just a great guy. And honestly, he could be, have we thought about, he could be like the supervisor of the prison. And I mean, like the prison supervisor, like this is where you get your, blankets and this kind of stuff. This is the bad bunk. This is the good bunk. Because he seems to be just about the only place he can survive is in prison. But who knows? Hopefully tomorrow will bring us a whole brand new state of crazy people doing crazy stuff. In about 52 minutes, I will be starting the Megan Boswell Petty Express back up again. And we will be trying to finish up day 6 and into day 7. And then we should tomorrow just see whatever we don't have left and the verdict. And then we can go to the penalty phase and get that one. This case in the books and see what the next case is that we want to look on the Petty Express. I will see you guys in a little bit. I'm going to go make sure that all of the children are, well, at least staying alive and staying out of Mr. Moe's way. So hopefully, we can get stuff done. Bye, you guys.